Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Kelly Mosby, owner and founder of Kelly Counts Macros, known for my Clubhouse membership and my 8-week program, the 8-week shred, which actually opens up on March 24th. I will put the wait list in the comments. Today, we're talking about something that might completely change the way that you approach food. Eat based on how you want to feel, not a number on the scale. So many times when I talk to a client, they'll say, well, when I got married, I was 127 pounds, and that's the number that I'm aiming for. And because when you eat, for a number for that 128 pounds, you restrict. And really, who knows what your body at 45 will look like at 127 pounds? Probably not the same as it looked when you were 25. Okay. So when you think you want to see a certain number on the scale and you obsess over it, then you try and restrict. And when you restrict, it backfires. So, sometimes you obsess over it, and eventually, when you obsess long enough, you eventually riot, right? You just go crazy and you binge and overeat. But when you eat for how you want to feel steady, you want to feel empowered, you want to feel clear, you want to feel strong, you want to feel satisfied, you want to feel calm. Everything changes. And today I'm sharing with you a framework. I like to call it the four-legged table. It's how you step off that roller coaster for good. Because so many times I hear clients, they are yo-yoing back and forth. I tried keto, I lost 40 pounds, and now I gained 50 back. So if that's you, this episode is for you. In this episode, we will talk about how to dig deep and figure out the framework so that you can step off the roller coaster for good and stop yo-yoing. So we'll talk about something deeper. So what if you stopped eating based on how you want to look or a number on the scale and started eating based on how you want to feel? Because once again, what I see over and over again is when we deprive ourselves, we binge, we become obsessed. Like, for instance, if you're freezing cold, what do you think about? What do you think about? A sweater, a jacket? You obsess about being cold. You think about warmth. You focus on it. And the second you put that sweater on, you stop obsessing. The same thing happens with food. When we chronically restrict, when we obsess, when we starve, our brain screams when we should ourselves all day, right? When we say we should all day long, we eventually riot. We eventually overeat. So today, I just want to give you a better framework. And I called it the four-legged table. So that diet riot roller coaster. So let's talk about it first. When you restrict food aggressively, your body does not like it. It does not applaud you. It does not say, yes, Grace, this is what we want you to do. Your hunger hormones rise, ghrelin increases, your brain becomes more food focused, your satiety hormones shift, your body pushes you to eat. It wants to stay alive. So your body's not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you. We also have a natural weight range, but instead of respecting that range, people chase one specific number. And even though I coach that your weight is a range, I'll still have somebody say to me, I want to be 137. Now that's very specific, right? They're not saying, I would like to be between 135 and 140. And the tighter that they grip that number, the more chaotic their relationship with food becomes. When we stop starving ourselves, we often stop stuffing ourselves because that stops that pendulum from swinging back and forth from undereating to overeating. So let's talk about this four-legged table. So imagine a table. If it only has one leg, it wobbles, right? If it has two legs, it collapses. If it has three legs, it's unstable. And you need four solid legs to have a stable table. And your relationship with food works the same way, right? So if one leg is weak, the whole thing shakes. So the four legs, let's talk about the first one. The first one is physical. Are you feeding your body adequately? Are you getting in the protein? Are you getting in the fiber, the whole foods? Are you getting in enough calories? If you're under eating all day or you're fasting all day and wonder why you binge at night, that's not lack of discipline, that's biology. If you were feeding someone that you love, someone who doesn't diet, doesn't overeat, how would you feed them? This brings to mind my babies when I was breastfeeding them. I loved them. I did not hold them off. When they cried and they were hungry, I put them right to my breast. So, how would you feed somebody that you love? Nutritious, delicious, moderate, balanced. You wouldn't starve them. You wouldn't shame them. You would nourish them. And sometimes that does include fun foods. It includes mini donuts. It includes brownies. It includes single servings of Cheez-Its. And not because you deserve it, because moderation prevents obsession. Moderation prevents obsession. So the first leg is the physical. Are you feeding your body adequately? Number two, leg two is emotional. This is the guilt leg, the letting go of the shame, loving yourself enough to care for your body, learning how to cope without using food as your only comfort tool. You cannot heal your relationship with food while hating yourself, which brings us to the self talk. I talk a lot about this inside of the shred. You should be talking to yourself like you would your daughter, your son, your husband, your wife, your best friend. Talk to yourself like you're talking to your BFF. We have three internal voices: kind, unkind, and quiet. We have three internal voices: kind, unkind, and quiet. So the unkind voice says, you shouldn't eat that. That's a bad food. You messed up. Your body shouldn't look like this. The kind voice should say, what do you need? How can we care for you? Let's make a balanced choice. The quiet voice, that's peace. So, which one are you listening to? How would you speak to someone you love? Please speak to yourself that way. When my son played baseball, if every time he struck out and we would say to him, you suck, you know, you don't know the strike zone and you're swinging at balls way over your head. Would you ever talk to somebody like that you love? That would totally defeat them. So please talk to yourself like you would your best friend. If your best friend went out for happy hour and the next morning she calls you and she's like, I had four glasses of wine. I only wanted to have one. I ate all the hors d'oeuvres and then I came home. And because I didn't eat during the day, then I was starving. So I snacked all night. Would you be like, Yep, you really suck. You are no good. You should just quit. And you're just never going to get any better at this. You do this every single weekend, and you're just never going to do better than what you did last night. No, of course not. You're not going to talk to your BFF like that. So I don't want you talking to yourself like that. All right. Leg three, another mental one. Mental. This is your thought pattern leg, your thought pattern leg. So, what are you thinking all day? Are you labeling food as good or bad food? Are you constantly negotiating? Are you thinking, I'll be good tomorrow? Are you thinking, I'll start over on Monday? Are you tying your worth to a number when you step on the scale? So mental chaos like that creates food chaos. You cannot think your way into peace while constantly attacking yourself internally. Leg four, the spiritual, the soul. This is the connection leg. What fills you up that isn't food? Think of your filler list, things that fill you up. And this is what I love about the clubhouse and the membership and all my people in there. This is where we pour all of our love. This is where we live. You need that connection. It's a filler upper. It's an awesome group with so much positivity. And we always say the only way to fail is to quit. And we don't let anybody do that inside of the clubhouse membership. So think about what fills you up, what fills up your soul, what fills up your spirit. Is it yoga? Is it nature? Is it a walk? Is it bath? Meditation, time with loved ones, watching a comedy, reading, listening to an audiobook, painting rocks, going to the beach, swimming, resting. Think about what fills you back up. For me, it's definitely getting outside. Definitely. Whether it's a run in the morning or a walk, either in the evening or especially after lunch, getting into nature. Strength training for me is huge. I used to not like it. I was a cardio queen. Now, strength training is very important to me. Time with loved ones, whether it's with my son, feeding him. He's a teenager, so connecting with him by taking him out for ice cream or going shopping, going to Ulta with my daughter because that's where she loves to go to take a look at the skincare. Definitely time with my husband, a date night that just renews me every single time, fills my spirit. Going to church definitely refills my spirit. Um, Watching a comedy, I love to laugh. My husband makes me laugh. My friends make me laugh. So just surrounding myself with funny people that I can be myself. Audiobooks, I'm a huge audiobook girl. I do have problems sitting still, I'll be honest. It's very hard for me to watch TV for any length of time. I do watch The Housewives, but it's probably, 20 minutes before I fall asleep. When my husband says, "Why don't you sit down and watch this football game with me?" I'm like, ugh, like I just can't sit there. So, anyways, audiobooks are huge for me. And I also love being by our pool. We have a brand new pool and outdoor kitchen. And not that if not there by the beach, we live by the lake. And when we're on vacation, I just love being by the water. So filling yourself back up, comfort that isn't edible. All those things I just mentioned, they're not edible. You shouldn't be eating any of them. Okay. So if your only source of relief is food, you're going to overuse it. If your only source of relief is food, you will overuse it. But when you have a life that has multiple sources of comfort, food just becomes one tiny piece. It's not the only piece. And when one leg is weak, if you're only focusing on calories, the physical leg, but ignoring the guilt, the emotional leg, the table will wobble. If you're working on mindset, but chronically under eating, the table wobbles. If you're eating well, but never resting or connecting, like our clubhouse members connect, and in our shred, we have accountability partners or groups. Right now, we have shred sisters. So if you're eating well, but never resting or never connecting, the table wobbles. You need all four: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, filling yourself up. That's stability. So eat based on how you want to feel. Instead of asking, how will this make me look? How will it reflect on the scale? Ask, how do I want to feel after this? Do I want to feel steady, energized, clear headed, calm, satisfied, strong? That's the question that changes your choices. I always say, ask yourself better questions. How do I want to feel after this? Because chasing a certain number on the scale or chasing a look, that just creates urgency. And really, time is our ally. It's not against us. Time is our ally. And it causes restriction. Because if you're chasing a number on the scale, it causes restriction and you'll yo yo back. So, chasing a feeling that creates the sustainability, that creates the habits. So, ending that roller coaster. When you stop starving yourself, you stop stuffing yourself. When you feed yourself adequately, your hunger hormones regulate. When you speak kindly to yourself, your stress lowers. When you fill your spirit, food isn't your only coping tool. And that's the stable table. And that's what we want. Stable beats extreme every single time. So this week, instead of focusing on how you want to look or a number on the scale, focus on how you want to on how you want to feel, right? Build your four-legged table. Feed your body, speak kindly to yourself, clean up your thoughts, and fill your spirit. You do not need to restrict harder. You need a sturdier table. You're not broken. Your metabolism is not broken. Your body is not the enemy. Food is not the problem. Instability is the problem. Build all four legs and watch how much calmer everything feels. You're always doing better than you think you are. Talk to you next week.